Hello friends! So I know finals week is coming up very fast and I get a lot of questions on how to study for multiple tests because I know how overwhelming it can be. So I thought it was time for me to share some of my tips and tricks for all of you on how to do this type of studying. So hopefully you can take something I say and tweak it to best fit into your studies. First things first is to know your finals week schedule. I like using the full month view in my life planner to write down when each final is and at what time it is going to be. Most schools know the finals week schedule months in advance, so if you can get this stuff done a few months in advance, then definitely do that. That way you will feel a little more organized when finals week does roll around. So after I have that all done, I will usually get out a blank piece of paper as well as a paper where I was keeping track of all my grades. If you do not keep track of your grades for each class, I do have a video talking about how you can do that, but knowing what your grade is definitely a critical part in deciding what to study for. Once I know what my grade is in each class, I will then rank my class by the lowest grade to the highest grade. The next thing that I do is find out how much the final will be and decide if this final will affect my grade at all. From there, I choose which classes are the most important to study for. If I have an 85 in a class and know that no matter what I get on the final, my grade will stay at a B, I will usually put that class on the back burner and only focus a small amount of my studying to the class. I decide which class to study for based on my grade and how the final will affect that grade. So here are the few tips that I have on how to study for finals. Number one, I make sure not to start studying too late. I realize that this can cause a lot of stress. Even if you pick up your notes just for 10 minutes a day, a few weeks in advance, it is better than nothing. And this way, when finals roll around, you will definitely feel a little more ready for filling out that study guide. Number two, try to create your own study guide. I have a whole video talking about creating your own study guide that will be linked, but by creating your own study guide, you really allow yourself to understand the material better, and it really makes you dig deep into remembering the lecture and remembering what the major and main concepts are. Number three, if your professor offers a review session, make sure you attend it. It is better to go and realize later that it was a waste of time than not go at all and realize that you probably should have gone. This is a perfect place to ask questions, talk to your classmates, and feel out your professor for what the test is going to be like. Number four, know what type of learner you are and apply this method to your studying. For myself, I am a visual learner, so I try to use color coding for dates and definitions and etc. And I also try to create a mind map to visualize how concepts work and how they connect to one another. Plus, I just like pretty things, and for some reason, my mind definitely responds better to something that's bright and colorful. It's just who I am, and I know that that's how I can get studying done. And then number five, it is definitely super easy to get bored while studying, so try and come up with some fun ways to stay motivated and awake. A few things that have helped me is by creating my own practice tests. You can do this on your own, or you can also find an online source that will create practice tests for you. And then I also like teaching others the material. Basically, that means that I will take my study guide and sit down with someone, even sometimes my cat, and I will teach them the material, explaining concepts and why it's important. And it's just as a good way to really drill those things into your head so you will not forget them. So all these things can seem like a lot, especially when you factor in how many classes you will have to do this for. But my best tip for all of you is to create a study schedule. Once you know which classes will be your highest priority, plan out when you will study for each class. I always start studying 2 weeks in advance, but sometimes professors won't have a study guide yet. But if you've been attending the classes, you know what the main concepts and what is probably the most important, so do not worry. I usually plan for one day to be the gathering information part, creating the study guide, and then the second day I will actually sit down and create a practice test and annotate my study guide. The best part about doing it this way is that you get 2 days of full studying, even if you feel like the first day is just filling out or copying information over and over. You will still remember some of it, and that will definitely help you when the test comes. So good luck to everyone in their upcoming finals. I know it can be stressful, but just remember to get a good night's sleep. Don't force yourself to do an all-nighter, and remember to eat good brain food. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.